If you're going to be taking pictures or recording the service, I would love for you to airdrop them or text them or Facebook message them or email them to me later so we can finish up the whole album once we upload all the pictures. At the end of the service, there will be a video on the screen as you're walking out. And if you want to stay to watch it, you're welcome to. It's also going to be uploaded to the internet. But let's start by reading or memorizing quoting scripture. We're going to quote Philippians 3:14.
I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Philippians 3:14.
I press towards the mark. Our theme this week was the idea of being driven, and we spoke a lot about cars. And it just so happens this morning on my way here, Nicole Golden was kind enough to go get chicken biscuits because there was a young lady who was on the side of the street. Her tire had blown, and I stopped over there, and it kind of helped her. It wasn't much of help, couldn't do much for her. Her tire was a little messed up. But I stopped to talk to her for a minute, and I said, it's so ironic. But I just said, hey, listen, I know you know this, but let me just remind you, sometimes in life we break down. And we just got to get the right kind of wheels and keep going. And that's a lot of what we experienced this week. We had a big illustration of a car, and sometimes the engine is clogged, and sometimes we need a better set of tires, a better set of friends, and better surroundings, and we need to kind of get the oil changed. And hopefully that's what you see in these kids throughout the next few months and few weeks. I want to thank Pastor for allowing us to go and praying for us, for each of you for praying for us, and funding the gas and the big bus on the way down there. I will say a special thank you to a few chaperones here in a little bit, well, all the chaperones, but I'll be doing that in just a little while, and Scotty will come up a little later in the service. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of what we talked about, and then I'm going to remove myself completely and let the kids kind of almost take over just a tad here. But this week, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the topics that we spoke about. We spoke about the LGBTQ movement. We spoke about parents and about obeying them. We spoke about different personalities and how to deal with them. We spoke about relationships. We spoke about abuse, of all types of abuses. We spoke a lot about depression, anxiety, and suicide. We even talked about transitioning into big church, leaving the Sunday school youth ministry and coming up to big church and what that means. And so there's a lot on their hearts, and I think as parents, as uncles, as cousins, as grandma and grandpa, and just members, it's our responsibility to check on these kids. And one of the things that we're trying to do better this year is to text our devotionals into the group chat, if you guys already noticed that, and maybe motivate us. And so we got a few kids missing, by the way, up here. There's already a few who had prior commitments to family vacations, and lake, and band camps, and all sorts of stuff. And so some couldn't be here today, but I did want to read you some of the stuff they wrote down. They wrote down on these 3x5 cards before we left to Pensacola. I asked them a prayer request. If you could write down a prayer request, what would it be? This one says, I wish my family, I'll let you hold that upside down. This one says, I wish my family would reunite. I pray for a safe trip to Florida. That prayer was answered. I pray that I can continue to the goals that I'm reaching for. That God would protect us, that I would have better grades. I pray for my grandmother's surgery. I pray that my mom would stop worrying about having fun and just relax. I pray that my grandma, her foot would get better. I pray that my parents would be able to get their own house and organized. I pray for a safe trip. I pray for safe travels, that we have a lot of fun this week. I think the fun part was answered as well. I pray that we have a safe and godly experience. I love that prayer request. I pray for recovery post-surgery. I pray that I will figure out what God wants me to do with my life. I pray that my future is good, kind of the same thing. I pray for some family members in the hospital. I pray for my pawpaw to get better. I pray that God would work in a mighty way through a family friend of mine. I pray for our driver, that we would be careful on the way down. I pray for my school and my grades. I pray for my grandparents. A lot of grandparent requests here, by the way. I pray for my cousin to finally come to church. I pray that my family would stay safe while we are gone. I pray that we have a safe travel. And I pray that I would learn to use social media well, that is carefully, and that the abuse will stop. So a lot of prayer requests here. Now, I also asked the kids to write down what they wish was different about their life. What they wish was different about their life. And this one kind of starts to hit home a little bit. I pray I would be smarter. Coincidentally, that word was misspelled. But we're getting there. And then it's just interesting how teenagers and young men and young ladies think. I pray that I would be faster. I wish that I would be taller, like 6'1". You're not reading it. I wish that I had better grades. I wish that I had longer hair, that I wouldn't worry as much. I wish that I didn't have acne. I wish that I had better grades. I wish I didn't overthink things. I wish nothing. I like myself. I like that. I like this one. I wish I was just kept out of the drama. I wish I was taller. I wish I wasn't as shy and had less anxiety. I wish I didn't have to wear glasses. I wish I didn't have social anxiety. I wish I had better grades in school and my attitude was different, that I could learn to not be so competitive. Some kids need to learn to be more competitive, right? I wish I could be better in every way. It's the opposite. I wish my height was better. I wish I was better at sports. This one really struck me interesting. I wish I had a different eye color. Raise your hand. We don't really get embarrassed anymore. Raise your hand if when you were a kid you wish you had a different eye color. Raise your hand if you wish you had a different hair color when you were a kid. Yeah, it's interesting. I wish I wouldn't hold grudges. I wish I was good at math. Don't we all? I wish I could just get better at everything. I don't like my body, and I feel like I lash out at people a good bit. So there is a lot going into this week, a lot going into this camp week that we can pray about. And I think a lot of answers to prayer. And I told these kids, just in short, some of these prayer requests are going to be answered after a week. Some of these decisions, you'll see fruit of it over time. And so we really did have a wonderful time. And we're so happy to be back. We had a little hiccup there in Alabama, but we made it. And I'll be talking about that just a little bit later in the service. If this is your first time at First Baptist, this is not our usual service. The youth are taking over completely, and they might keep it. I'm kidding. But they're really excited to be up here to have a lot to show. We have some volunteers down front. If this is your first time, they'd love to give you a gift.
Believes the impossible, receives the incredible. No matter what it was, faith moves the unmovable, proves the unprovable for anyone willing to trust. Believe and you'll see what faith does. If there's a mountain that stands in your way, come on and see and you'll be there to say, God said with the faith of a small mustard seed, that mountain will move. Believe and you'll see. Faith sees the invisible, believes the impossible, receives the incredible. No matter what it was, faith moves the unmovable, proves the unprovable for anyone willing to trust. Believe and you'll see what faith does. Believe and you'll see what faith does.
Amen. Parents, these kids will be encouraged if you sing with us. And if we can hear you more than they can hear themselves, they'll be less shy. So sing out with us as loud as you can. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my you might not have heard before.
Christ is my reward in all of my devotion. There's nothing in this world that ever satisfies. Through every trial, my soul will sing, no turning back. I've been set free.
Help us out with some clapping. But a good one. Let's say our favorite one. We've heard it on 106.9 and on Caleb. It's the light that Jesus shines on the shore. And as long as we have our eyes fixed on Jesus, right? The Bible says, keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, the author, perfecter of our faith, the finisher of our faith, that we can find our way back. And there are kids on the stage that throw a smile on, but they may not feel it in their heart. They're putting it on their face. In fact, maybe that's you. And so this song is such an encouragement to me that in our wrestlings and in our doubts, God's love can lead us through stories. Amen? So if you've never heard this, feel free to listen. If you've heard it, sing it out with us. I know they'll be singing. You ready? Amen. Let's sing.
Oh
end up driving about 12 hours. And I said, what do you think about going to the beach? As soon as we get there, we unload and go straight to the beach. And, Scotty didn't say no. He was kind enough not to say no. He just said, well, we'll see. He was willing. And when we got there, because of gas and bathroom breaks, we really didn't have time, but he was willing. And then on the way back up, the bus is loaded and ready to go, and I wanted to show these kids that their faith is real. There's a place in this camp where they archive $1 million manuscripts and old Hebrew texts. The place where you and I, our Bibles come from. Some of the original manuscripts of the different Bibles, of Martin Luther's Bible or old church fathers' authentic Bibles. And, some of the questions on the stage are, well, what if I'm a Christian only because my mom and dad are Christian? Like, what if I was born in Iraq? Wouldn't I be a Muslim? So we're dealing with these questions of apologetics of faith and the fact that Christ is not just what you've always been told, but Christ is the truth, the way, the life, and the only way to the Father. And so Scotty's ready to go. And I said, Scotty, do you think we might take 30 minutes to go look at some manuscripts? And he didn't really put up a fight about it. At least not on his face and not on his tongue, right? He was willing. And I don't know how in the world he didn't have an aneurysm, how in the world he didn't have a heart attack, how in the world we didn't have a kidney stone. I told him, I said, you can't so much as twist your ankle at this place because you're our only CEO. And we made it back, and even just the whole team, Kathy, Michael, Millicent, there's another young lady who's not here, I'm Jhoan. And Suba, the camp directors, and Chuck, the camp director, when we broke down, everyone just went back into action. Everyone took their roles in such a great way. We made the right phone calls. So Scotty, not to toot your horn, but thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. Come up and do our weekly prayer. And David Rainwater, where you at? I called David this morning. I said, David, I got a girl who's broken down in 274. Could you come help me? And he was willing, but it's a dead zone over there.
They let me speak because I drove the bus. In full disclosure, I did not want to go to the beach. And I did not want to go look at 9,000-year-old manuscripts. I wanted to drive. But anyway, no. I do want to say just a few things. A couple things that stuck out to me this week, of course, was our campfire night. It was one of the few opportunities that we actually had a chance to get together as a group and to watch them interact with each other and just to love each other and just to be honest about who they are and where they're coming from. And, it was powerful. The other thing I'd like to say, and he's going to sing a song in that. But Travis Rainwater, man, give that guy a hand. Come on. This guy decides he wants to be in the music competition. So this camp has very strict rules on the music competition. Okay, so Travis decides he wants to play. So I look it up that night, thinking Travis is going to play the next day. It's just instrumental. It's not any popular songs, So I'm thinking, okay, let's see how this goes. So it works out, and we all get together. So we get there, and there sits violins, trumpets, classical pianists, and Travis with his guitar. Well, I'm going to tell you something. That guy, not only did he go up there with his guitar when his name was called, after 4 or 5 people went up and played these, they weren't classical, but they were. They were.
Professional.
And he sits up there, not only does he play, but he sings. And he sings Can't Shake Jesus. Well, let me tell you something. My heart smiled. And I know every one of these guys, their heart smiled. And I can't help but think that Jesus smiled. He's got a sense of humor. He really does. To be playing in that chapel. that song in front of those people. Exalted. Thank you, Travis. Now I'll get on with what I'm supposed to do. So, on our prayer list, we have Bobby Ballard, who's now at home. I think Brett says she's even at the beach. Upcoming tests, Teresa Henley, Kim Eubanks, Allie Bean, at home, Bill Allen, Rita Bean, Elizabeth Bennett, Anna Bowman, Patrick Bowman, Steve Brackett, Braden Brown, Martha Brown, Carol Carpenter, Pat Carpenter, Elizabeth Doty, Jack Avery, Louise Davis, Frank Osborne, Isabel Pfeiffer. The church would like to extend sympathy to the family of Randy Talent and sympathy to the family of Harold Stone. Let's pray. Father God, we just come before you now, Lord, just thanking you for boldness. Lord, we thank you for sharing of our hearts. Lord, we thank you for just how you bless each one of us. Lord, we come now to enter into our offering. Lord, we pray that you would bless these offerings as we give them to you. Lord, we just thank you for the service. Lord, we just thank you for just how you love us so much, Lord. Lord, we do lift up our prayer requests to you. All these people who are at home or having tests, Lord, we just ask them that you place your hand upon them, that you minister to their needs. Lord, we lay them at your feet and we ask you to bless them. In Jesus' name.
Brought him to die on a cross up on high, spikes through his feet and his hands. You can use him, abuse him, mock and accuse him, sell him out for 30 pieces, betray him, slay him, do the devil's mayhem, but you can't shake Jesus. Thorns on his brow, his eye on the ground. All of God's daughters and sons, they're spitting on him, cursing at him. Forgive them for what they have done. You can use him, abuse him, mock and accuse him, sell him out for 30 pieces, betray him, slay him, do the devil's mayhem, but
Give me 1 second. First practice, I got saved on Tuesday, June 18th. And the person who just helped me to save, his name's Fred. He was a camp counselor. So what happened when I got saved was I was waiting for the pool to open. There was lightning and thunder. So I had to close it down. We were waiting for it back to open. And Grant, he started sharing when he got saved. I'm going to give the story that he gave us. See, he was only 8 when his mom passed away. And when his mom passed away, he was sad. He went up to his dad. He grew up in a Christian home. He went up to his dad and asked, "Why did mom pass away? Why did God let that happen?" He said, "Because God had better plans. And because when mom passed away, better stuff could happen to her. Better stuff could happen to us." And so from that day on, he asked his dad to help him keep him straight. And I gave my story. And he asked if I was ever saved, and I said no. And we started talking, and then he started reading Romans to me. And saying that we could always accept God no matter what. He could always forgive us no matter what. And that day I accepted Jesus right then and there. Thanks to him.
These boys, I've learned one very important thing about them, and that is when they speak from the heart. And they love this church in a very special way. They love you in a very special way. They want the best for their future and for the future of this church. So I'm going to let them take it away.
Okay, so I'm Matthew, and when I was at camp, I realized one of the things that I've been doing wrong in my life and how much sin that I live in constantly, every day, and how I need to change those things. And one of the main things that I realized was the music I listen to is not Christian, very unholy, and I need to change that. So all of us in this youth group, we repented of our sins on campfire night, and I can promise you every single one of us broke down in tears because we were convicted of all those sins that we had been doing. And well, the music part, I can say to me and Ty, just me and Ty, probably over 1,000 songs that we listen to that are unholy and unchristian, and we have completely deleted our playlist and brought only good, holy music, because I see so many people that only listen to godly music, and I want to be as holy and as happy as them. And I've been so bogged down and so taken over by the awful music that I listen to that I just haven't been living the way I should, and that I should be living through God, and I haven't been doing that for this whole entire time of my life. And I made a commitment to change my ways and to not be sinning. And as Kenny Ball had said, it's better to not make a commitment at all than to make one and break it. So I can promise you I'll never break this commitment that I made to live through God and live through Him. And I can say everyone here has made a commitment on that fireside night when we all tell our testimonies. I can say that everyone has changed their life in some way to live through Him. And I just thank God for being able to send us to that camp, because that's the best things that have happened to me. Thank you.
I'm Ty Hebner, and this camp was definitely a memory for me. Rusty Strap was here a couple weeks ago. He said a couple weeks ago, don't stay in your comfort zone or you will never be able to learn or share the gospel. Camp was a good, Kenny, he was very energetic and was able to hit some things real home for me, to be honest with you. And for me, it was just the music. I felt convicted, and it's been holding me back. It's been making me feel real dry. I stayed in my room a whole lot. I was just glad. And instantly, whenever me and a couple other guys here, we deleted a lot of songs, and we instantly felt relief. And ultimately, that created an accountability for us to be able to stay strong and be able to make it through this difficult. A couple of things. I went through a time where I probably went for about a month or so, and it was just Christian music on the way to school, on the way home, and the ball practice. And it made me, it helped me open up. I was not married. I felt a whole lot better about myself. And so when I got in the front seat of my car one day and changed the radio station, and I just fell back over that, and I started to listen to that music again, and I felt just bogged down again, and I just felt real heavy-hearted. But at camp, it was a very life-changing thing. You know, Kenny said something. He said, it's all about the lyrics. It's not about the beat. And I kind of heard that a little bit differently. I heard it as it's all about the music, or the lyrics, yes, but it's also about the beat that kind of pushes you and edges you to Christ and ultimately feel that bond. And I just hope that some of you can either try it and not just hold us accountable for the things that we do as struggling youth.
And these kids have learned that. So don't be a stumbling block. When your kids get in the car, listen to the music that is good for you. Don't be a stumbling block. All right. We got number 3 angels. We're missing a lot of angels today. A couple girls aren't able to be here. But Amy, by the way, raise your hand and get me dressed for a minute. Amy is joining us this week for camp. She has a home church up in Dallas. And she's here this week with us. But girls, take it away.
My name is Hallie Jackson. If you know me, you know I don't have patience at all. But what Teenage Dream taught me was to have patience, not only with God, but with everything that you do, because if you let it work out the way it's supposed to, it's going to work out a lot better. The other day I was just skimming through the Bible app, and I stopped at Second Chronicles in chapter 15, and I was reading through the verses, and verse 7 stuck out to me a lot, and it says, "Be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded." And at first I was like, oh, my work pays off, but then I thought a little bit deeper, and I was thinking, well, maybe that means like prayer. If you keep praying, it will eventually be answered, because I was praying I still am praying for a lot of things right now, and I was at that, like a couple of days ago, I was just thinking, before Teenage Dream, I was just thinking, okay, they're not going to be answered, and I was getting really angry with God, but when I read that verse, it gave me a lot of peace.
So, my name is Madison, and after morning service every day we had to go to these devotions, and our group talked about purpose. And God gives you all these gifts, and every one of us is unique in some way. But why did He give us these gifts? Like, if you know me, I love to talk. I can talk anywhere, anytime, about anything to anyone. But yeah, but I was wondering, how can I use that to serve the Lord? Because talking, sometimes I don't know when to stop, and it can get me into a lot of trouble. But every one of us has been given these gifts for a reason. And I'm thinking, God gave me this gift of talking so I can talk to people about the Lord without any fear of being embarrassed. And there's so many of us with so many different talents this week. Like, we have a lot of sporty people in this group, and they can use that to serve the Lord in so many different ways. Yep.
My name is Lila Grace Summertime. Teenage Dream Camp taught me a lot. I got closer to God, and I learned so much. One thing that really spoke to me was Keith Baldwin's message about who your friends are and how they affect you. I'm only 13 years old, and I have had friends that act like they're 20. I was prepared to cut some friends from my life to make mine better. It's hard to completely cut people out of your life who got close to and learned a lot, but it's definitely worth it when it comes comes to your relationship with God. Obviously, these friends were not affecting me in a way that brought me closer to God. Like Pastor Baldwin said, this really spoke to me, is the friends that affect you in a bad way can pull you down easier than you can pull them up to God. And I'm still learning on how I can be closer with God and how I can affect other people to be closer with Him as well. I want to thank Jhoan and Teenage Dream for an amazing experience, but I especially want to thank God for giving me the purpose for life and just being the built-in best friend I can always talk to. It was an eye-opening week and experience, and I hope to see it again.
Yeah, we need to be careful who our kids are hanging out with, right? Because they will pull them down faster than they bring them up. And here, I told them, I said, maybe there's some kids we need to cut out of our lives, some friends. But this goes for adults too, but that's not to say we can't invite them to come to camp with us next year. All right, now, first night, which I think was the hardest night, because the camp speaker is a very energetic speaker. He said to us, you're allowed to get excited about basketball. Why can't I be excited about preaching? I love preaching. So he was very excited, and I'm surprised, I really am, that these two, and we all did, but these two specifically learned their biggest lesson on the first night they encountered this kind of energetic preaching. So, Travis, say it.
The thing that I got most from this camp was on the first night, and I know for the longest time, basically since I became a Christian, there's always been a worry in the back of my head that what if I'm not doing it right? What if I'm just going through the motions? What if I don't mean it? Because I know that like I messed up, and I was always worried. What if I mess up too much? And what if because of the fact that I'm messing up so much, I'm not a Christian? And that was always a worry in the back of my head. And I was like, but then on the first night, I'm not quite sure how I got what I got from it, but just something in my mind clicked that the fact that I'm questioning this, and the fact that I'm worried about my actions, and I'm worried about the fact that I'm questioning whether I'm worthy of God's love and grace, the fact that I know that I'm not, that just kind of just clicked in my head that because I'm worried, questioning these things, and worrying about these things, is proof enough that I am a Christian. And that just stayed because that's one of the cores of Christianity, knowing that you're not worthy of God's grace and that God is merciful and graceful. Yeah. And that just gave me a lot of clarity and a lot of just peace in my salvation. I'm not sure if I've had in a long time.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say much more than what Chavis said. We done almost the exact same thing, except, John, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know the last night. Like, I realized it all the last night. I don't know what, like, I think it was...
Last night.
No, the last night.
Last night.
Not last night. The last night, right? And so when we all had to, like, unlock, I just had, all what Chavis said, but I felt like an inner peace, if that makes sense. Like, fulfillment in a way. Just honestly not much more I can say.
Amen. Can I get an amen?
Hello, my name is David Alfaro, and I was told to talk about my week at Teen Stream. This week was very indescribable. It was something our youth needed, and as we got there, we could see how big it was. They said there was about 1,000 people there, maybe even more. This was my fourth time going, but this year felt very different because I was going with First Baptist, some people from my dad's church, and we had a couple other people coming. I think that's something that I was able to understand from the sermons of Pastor Keeney, is that to surround myself with people that love the gospel. I can't let negativity get in the way. It says in the book of the Bible that 2 people are better than one. When 2 people work together, they get more work done. And if one person falls, the other one reaches out to help. But those who are alone, when they have fallen, have no one to help. And I think that to have a strong relationship with God, we have to know who we're hanging out with, we have to trust, we have to rely on them to be there for us. And we always have to we can't always go through life by ourselves, and we have to have people there. During one of the invitationals, Pastor Kenny Baldwin asked everyone, if you die today, are you going to heaven or hell? And he said, if you're 100% sure that you're not going to heaven, that your relationship with God is broken, come to the front. And James, Olin, and Payne came up, and I'm really proud of you guys. I think that brought tears to me when I saw you guys come up. I love everyone in our group. I wouldn't change a thing about it. Even James, I wouldn't change a single thing about you, man. And thanks to the parents who allowed us to come. We had a great time, and the countdown for next year has begun. Go Dogs!
I want to start out by thanking Jhoan for giving us an opportunity and having us try something new. Yes, we've been to Castle a lot, but Tennis Stream was a blast. Don't be fooled that Tennis Stream was a blast, but the bus ride back was not. The heat was so intense. Everyone was sweating. No one could feel the AC, and we had to pull over, play some cards, get back on the bus, and ride and eat some more. But all jokes aside, Tennis Stream has made me look behind me, consider things that we need to cut out. Not only things that we need to cut out, but also things we need to bring in. One thing I consider to bring in would be the amount of time I spend in the Bible. We have 24 hours in a day, and some of us barely even spend 5 minutes reading the Bible, including myself. But we can spread hours upon hours scrolling through social media. Throughout the week, we found ourselves in Philippians, Deuteronomy, Romans, and 2 Corinthians. During my time going from chapter to chapter, I kept finding myself reading the titles through Matthew, and the titles were catching my eyes. Titles like anger, salt and light, retaliation, love your enemies, giving to the needy, and don't be anxious. I realized how these things came to the real world today, and not only the real world, but also to us in the church. We need to be in the Bible more, and then we can see the things that relate to the real world, and not only the real world, but also to ourselves. Once we get into the Bible and actually take time of our day, we can realize the messages that were written in the book, and we can spread the word and bear fruit. So I want everyone to hear things, something that you struggle with, whether you need to cut it out or bring something into your life to strengthen your walk with God. When you think of your thing, we're going to have everyone bow their heads and pray for whatever you're struggling with.
God, you're so good. God, you're so good. God, you're so good. You're so good. One more time, you're so good. God, you're so good.
Can I ask Pastor Vince to close us out in prayer? Any final thoughts?